Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this very special episode. So, today we are doing something extremely different. We have an amazing guest, and you cannot guess who that guest might be today. We are going to have a lot of fun with this conversation. So, the guest here is somebody who has real life problems with how he can choose the right kind of food, how he can be extremely healthy. A very curious guest, I might say. So please welcome Svaraj Kelkar.
Hi
Hi,
guys.
Swaraj.
I live in London and I currently study in St. Anthony School in Year 5 Lisbon.
It's amazing to have you on this podcast. So we would love to hear about, what problems you might have, what questions you might have, because we are always talking about how to be healthy. But children have real issues because there's all kinds of misinformation out there, and there's all kinds of junk food available around you. There are so many different problems. So what are some questions that you would like to ask?
So what is the gut?
Okay, so if you want to know what the gut is, well, if you study science in your school, so they might teach you that we have this digestive system which starts from the oral cavity. So you can say that the gut is everything after that. So when we eat our food, we need to chew it properly so that it is digested. The digestion is actually starting in our mouth, and then as it travels down the esophagus and the stomach and the small intestine, the large intestine, it is digested at different stages. So you might have heard about all of this, that this is called the gut, right? In school you hear about this. But did
Yes.
you know that the gut is also home to trillions of germs which live in our gut, and they are secretly helping us? We scientists call it our invisible organ. So did you know that we have trillions of germs? So if I say, oh, we have germs in our body, you might say, oh, that's so icky. That's so disgusting. Is that something that you felt?
Yeah, something I think, yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. But you know what? There are so many germs all around us, and we are actually living in their world. So they came on this earth, they evolved much before we did. So it's an amazing collaboration, you might call. So when I say gut, these microbes or germs in our gut are actually helping us secretly. So do you want to know what they do there?
Yes.
Yeah, so they are helping us digest the food that we eat. When we say we should eat a high fiber diet, do you know that they are the ones that are digesting our fiber? We cannot digest it on our own. They make vitamins, they help us absorb minerals, they help us stay safe from infections. So they help prevent infections, they build our immunity. And there are many, many things that they would like to do. They help us with. So it's our secret invisible organ, our secret superpower.
So how can you make this world of microbiome bigger and so it can help our body better?
Yes, so the question you asked is very right. So you are familiar with the word microbiome already, because this collection of germs in our body is called our microbiome. So the collection of germs in our gut is called the gut microbiome. And if we have to make the microbiome bigger, now you would ask, why should we make it bigger? Because people are afraid of germs, but these germs are actually helping us. So we need a bigger, a better quality microbiome. So, in order to get those germs, we have to feed them the right kind of foods. The food that we eat is also feeding them. So, that is one very important thing we need to do.
Is it important to have a diverse diet?
Yes, because we need a lot of different kinds of germs in our body. We need a diverse diet because you might love. So, what is the food that you love?
Alak paneer.
What is your favorite thing? What is it?
Alak paneer.
Palak paneer. So you love palak paneer. Your brother might love something else. So what does he like?
Like paneer bhaji sometimes.
Okay. And your mom might like something else, or third thing. Your dad might like something else. So similarly, all of these different types of germs in our body eat or like some different kinds of foods. So they live on different kinds of foods, and they are doing different things. Like, what is the function that you are doing in your house? You study, you help with some household chores, and your brother might be doing something else. He's studying in a different grade, he's doing some other tasks at home. Your mom does something else, your dad does something else. So everybody has their assigned jobs in the house or in an office. Similarly, these germs also have very different tasks assigned to them. So when we need all of these different kinds of germs, we need to feed them different kinds of foods so that they are happy, so that they are thriving, they are growing properly. For that, we need a high diversity diet. That means we need to have different kinds of fruits, vegetables, and whatever it is. So you said that right. It is important to have a diverse diet because of that.
Also, that you said that we should also always eat healthy foods to like feed our gut microbiome. But like,
Yes.
what happens if we eat too much healthy foods? Because most of the time, what happens is I eat too much healthy food and then my tummy starts hurting a lot.
That is a wonderful question, because everybody wants to be healthy. And this is a very relevant question, because I know you work very hard to eat healthy. I have seen that, and it's commendable to do that. But when we say that we are eating healthy, it also needs to be balanced. So when we are eating really healthy food, it is possible that it's not balanced, because we need to eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, for example. But we also need enough protein to support our muscles, to support our cells. We also need healthy fats in our diet, because people who do not eat fats thinking that, oh, they are unhealthy. Fats are also extremely important for our cells. We need vitamins, we need minerals, we need micronutrients. So this is why even extremely healthy food can be harmful if it is not balanced. So it really depends on what is the healthy thing that you are eating. So yes, the question was absolutely perfect. It is possible to eat very, very healthy and still feel, not nice, or you might have a stomach upset or something, because the fiber is too much, the protein is too less, the fats are missing, the micronutrients are not. The combination is very important.
Also, when I was looking at some of your videos, I saw one of the videos called the gut brain axis. So,
Okay.
what technically is this?
Okay, that's a very important question, because when I said the gut microbiome, or whatever is happening in the gut, so that when I say gut brain axis, we are talking about, so when I say brain, we are talking about the brain that we have, right? But do you know that in primitive animals, like animals that are not evolved as human beings, they do not have a brain. Their gut is acting as their brain. So in humans, we have two brains. The first one is the brain that we know of. The second one is our gut. There are so many neurons around the gut that these bacteria, viruses, or whatever, the microbes that we have, the germs in our gut, they are making chemical signals, and these signals are traveling through the vagus nerve highway. There's like a highway between the gut and the brain, that's called the vagus nerve. So these chemicals are actually traveling on that highway and telling our brain, hey, your gut is trying to tell you something. So that is called the gut brain axis. So when we eat food that is very healthy, our gut is telling our brain that, hey, we have received whatever the body requires. Hey, it's time to be happy, because it is making chemicals that makes a person happy, or it is making chemicals that makes us fall asleep, and get a good quality sleep. So those are the things that the gut microbiome is making. And this is what it means by gut brain axis. The feelings that we have are chemicals that are made by the gut microbiome.
Also, this is like my own question. So, um, what would happen if like I was in an emergency and I needed to go to hospital, and then I came back at like 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning, and then there was no other shop open except for McDonald's. What are the choices
Okay.
I can do?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. I know you try to eat very healthy all the time. So yes, there are situations where we are forced to eat things that we normally do not choose. So I would say in situations like this, it is okay to go and eat there when you are very hungry, of course. But even in places which sell food that we call junk food or fast food, there are some healthy choices even in those places. So there are salads, there are fruits. I won't say juice is healthy, but in situations like this, maybe that's an alternative to have. They might be selling burgers, they might be selling soft drinks that are, fizzy drinks that are not really healthy. But in addition, they do have things that are healthy. And in case of an emergency, if you are really hungry, it's okay to go for something that you might not choose otherwise. But an important thing to remember is when you try it once, it is going to make you crave for it again and again.
Also that um when you think about the word preservatives, you just think you don't want it. But when we eat like something really fresh, even from our own garden, we it actually is it actually a preservative? Because sometimes I put like chemicals like tomorite that helps it grow. So would you call this a preservative that's healthy, or a preservative that you could like it could it's fine?
Okay, that's a wonderful question. Because when we buy food, so it has, when foods are prepared for to increase their shelf life, that means to make them stay longer so that people can use them. Otherwise, they would not be. For example, if you take potatoes, you can only eat potatoes for a few days. After that, they get spoiled. But if you want to increase the shelf life of that the same potato, what do? You would make chips or something out of it that would stay for a much longer period, but you don't get nutrition out of it. So preservatives are added to foods to increase the shelf life. The chemicals that you add to plants or trees to help them grow better or help them produce more fruits are called fertilizers. Or you would spray some pesticides as well to keep the insects away. So these fertilizers are also chemicals. It really depends on the type of fertilizers that you are using. There are some organic fertilizers which are actually good for the plant. There are some chemical fertilizers which are very harmful. So it really depends on what you are using. If it is a chemical fertilizer, many of them are known to have side effects to humans. They can cause serious chronic diseases in humans. But organic fertilizers are completely safe. Just a second.
Yes.
Yes. So I was saying that these chemical fertilizers or pesticides can be harmful for us, for humans. But when we use organic, so I don't know which one you are using right now. So it really depends on what you are using. But that was a wonderful question.
Can the food we eat affect our reflexes? Like, if someone asked me what's 4 times 2, 2 years ago, and then if I ate like different types of food, and they ask me 4 times 2 now, would will there be a change in your reflexes or not?
Amazing question. So, as you rightly said, the food that we eat really impacts our thinking, our memory, our academic performance, how we do at school, or how we are performing at work. All of that is extremely related to the food that we are eating. So, when we feed ourselves healthy food, what happens is our cells are actually chemical reactors. So when we provide those the kind of nutrients they need, they perform at their best level. So memory is also dependent on how healthy our brain is. When it is getting the right kind of food or nutrition, it is going to perform at an amazing rate. And because it also feeds a healthy microbiome, the microbiome is going to make a lot of chemicals. They are called neurotransmitters. So they make all of these wonderful neurotransmitters that keep our brain functioning extremely well. So a very sharp, very good memory, very good focus. So this is how we can perform really well at school. So you rightly said that, when we eat healthy food, it is going to improve our academic performance. You are going to get much better grades. You will do much better even in sports, not just in academics.
Also, so do our microbiome have the superpower to like if imagine if I have a medical problem, do our microbiome have the power to make it lesser, like um the hurting it's doing to me? So like I have eczema, so if I eat healthy foods, will it make an effect on how it hurts me?
That is a very, very good question, Swaraj. So, so when we eat the right kind of food, healthy food, so it supports a good gut microbiome. And do you know that when our gut microbiome is healthy, it makes a lot of chemicals again that is going to help our skin be healthy. So the gut and the skin are very related. There is something just like we discussed about the gut brain axis, there is also a gut skin axis. So when our gut is healthy, when we have all of the right kind of germs in our gut, they will make a lot of chemicals. So when anybody has eczema, there is a correlation between a disturbed, there are some key germs that are missing in the gut, or there are some germs that should not be there. So when we improve the quality of germs, it is going to resolve the issue of eczema. It can really help. And do you know we also have a skin microbiome? There are germs on our skin as well. So in order to improve the quality of that, foods that have live germs, they are called probiotic foods. They are extremely helpful to improve the quality of the gut microbiome and also the skin microbiome. Of course,
Just
playing outdoors and using very less of antibacterial soaps and hand washes, all of that also helps in keeping the skin healthy and free of eczema.
so another question would be that if you have an apple, and then there's like different microbiomes going into your body, so those microbiomes,
Yes.
do they also have another power to like give us emotions through the gut brain axis? So like if I'm eating an orange and it's like right night time, like at dinner time, so would it make me tired, and what are like the things would happen?
Yes, so there are two different things in that. When you said if you eat an apple, it is going to give you different kinds of vitamins and minerals. So apple has very different vitamins and minerals than an orange, for example. Oranges are very high in vitamin C. So you would get a good dose of vitamin C by eating oranges, which you would not get with apples. So apples have other, prebiotic effects and other kind of nutrients. But when you eat these same fruits at night during dinner time, that's not a very good time to eat fruits. Fruits should be eaten around 5 or before that, before evening. Because do you know why? Because we should have dinner by sunset at least, and eating fruits are digested very fast in our body. So if we eat them after dinner, so they start rotting in our stomach. It's not a good combination. That's why fruits are always eaten only during the daylight hours and not after any other kinds of foods. But again, eating them at the right time is going to give you very different kinds of nutrients. So if you get vitamin C and you have iron also in your body, it is going to give you good energy. It is going to improve the quality of your skin because vitamin C is extremely important for skin. It is also going to improve your immunity. So of course how you feel, your emotions are going to be very different when you have a lot of energy, when your skin is feeling, fresh, it looks good. The other thing that happens is these different kinds of fruits are also feeding the microbiome. And as I said before, the microbiome makes chemicals that gives rise to all of these emotions. We feel calm, we feel happy, we feel satisfied. So all of these different emotions are actually different chemicals. They are called serotonin, they are called dopamine. Dopamine is something that gives us a feeling of being satisfied or rewarded. Serotonin is our happiness hormone. We feel happy because we have a lot of serotonin in our body. And GABA or gamma aminobutyric acid is something that keeps us calm and composed. Whenever there is something that might cause us to become anxious, this keeps us calm. So, all of these emotions are coming from the gut microbiome actually, from the food that we eat.
Also, I watched this one video on YouTube. It says like it's about when a child takes lots of like medicines, like just like when they cough a bit, and then so they take a lot of medicines. So would that be a good choice? Because what I saw in the video is that the bad germs, the actual bad germs we have in our body, adapt, and then they get like immune to those bad things, and when you actually need it, it cannot help your body.
What an amazing question. I don't know how much you have been reading, but you are really smart, and I'm very impressed by the kind of questions. So, what you are saying is that when children are sick or when they have a slight cough or cold or headache or anything, people tend to give them medicines immediately. So, our body is actually a very intelligent system. It can heal itself many times if we allow it to heal properly. If we allow using foods or getting enough oxygen by breathing properly or exercising or meditating, those things are the real medicines. But if we take tablets or medications so fast, what happens is they end up killing the microbiome. Like, for example, antibiotics. Antibiotics kill bacteria. Large part of our microbiome is made of bacteria. So they end up not just killing the germs that cause infections, they also kill a lot of our microbiome. And what happens is whatever is remaining develops resistance for those antibiotics. So the next
So
time when the person actually needs it, it is not going to work because the gut microbiome is already resistant to antibiotics.
so when I was in year 3, I learned there's five different things you should eat. There's carbohydrates, there's dairy, there's protein, then there's vegetables, and then there's like fried foods. So I just wanted to ask you, like when we were learning, our teacher used to say that we should eat all of these foods, but carbohydrates and vegetables you should eat the same amount, proteins a bit less than both of them, then dairy a bit less than protein, and then fried foods the most amount of less. But when we eat diverse foods, wouldn't it count to eat like um sometimes like fries? Wouldn't that include in diverse foods?
Okay, so that's a very interesting, yeah, it's a kind of a tricky question. So when you say diverse foods, it does not mean unhealthy foods. It means a healthy, diversity of different foods. When we say diverse, that means when you are selecting carbohydrates. So what are the carbs that you might eat? Roti or some rice probably. Yeah, that's mostly what carbs we eat, right? But a variety of carbohydrates will include many different types of millets like bhakri for example, or some kind of a millet khichdi. So there are many different things, jowar, bajra, there is ragi, there are many different millets that we can use. So that is the diversity of carbohydrates. It does not mean you eat a potato in different forms, like potato is also carbohydrate, so that doesn't mean you eat the same potato in different forms. It means eating different types of carbohydrates or different sources of carbohydrates. Even for protein, you can eat lentils, you can eat beans, you can eat uh,
Um,
eggs or
nuts.
chicken or fish for protein, or there are other meats, but they are not that healthy. So for healthy fats, there are these cold pressed oils that are very healthy. Then there are nuts and seeds which give us healthy fats. So when we say diverse, it means those things should come from different sources. That is the real meaning of diversity.
Also, sometimes my mom makes like salad and it's like really, really healthy, but sometimes it just doesn't taste like. So, like, what would happen if you got a dish and you put lots of healthy stuff in it, but when you taste it, it tastes absolutely disgusting. So, what can you
Yes.
help? What can you do?
Yes, so I know that kids hate salads, but do you know there are many tricks that we can do to make salads extremely interesting. That is, you can have a salad dressing of your choice. So it has some kind of fat, some kind of oil, some kind of herbs, and even spices. It can have lemon juice. So there are many different combinations that we can make to make the same salad interesting. And that's what we do, that we make a rainbow salad where there are different vegetables. We add some sauteed tofu to it, we add some soya sauce, we add lemon juice, we add some spices to it, and that really makes it very, very interesting. There are a lot of different textures, there are a lot of different flavors. There's sweet, there's sour, there's salted, there's spicy. And we also add cooked millets or cooked quinoa to it. So it gives a very good balance of proteins, carbohydrates, of different kinds of vegetables. You also have the rainbow diet in it, and that is extremely flavorful. So there are very interesting, flavorful salads also that children just love. So you
So,
can make things interesting.
so just like you said, when I was doing this, so like I absolutely hated dry fruits. But then what my mom did was like she put like lots of dry fruits. She put them in a mixer. She put lots of milk, and then she created like a milkshake sort of with no sugar, and it tastes wonderful. So is that healthy or not?
Yes, that's a very healthy option, and I'm amazing. I mean, I'm amazed at how you loved such a healthy alternative. This is something that parents have to do to make sure that their children are eating healthy, and there are many things that we can tweak. And this is a wonderful thing, that if you don't like eating nuts, there are other ways of eating nuts, like topping them on salads, making a laddu out of it, or making a milkshake like your mom does. There are many things that we
Okay.
can do to make things interesting.
So do you have any questions for me?
So I know that you are a very healthy eater. What do you do when other children offer something that's not healthy? When you go to somebody else's house, what do you do?
So, if I was to be honest, sometimes if it's like if I like it, I would probably take it, and if my mom's allows me. But sometimes if it's like something I don't like cupcake, I absolutely hate cupcake. So I would most of the time reject it.
Okay. So but you don't say that, oh, it's not healthy, so I'm not going to eat it. That's not something you do, right?
Mm.
That would be difficult. Because even adults have that problem. When we go and visit somebody and people are feeding unhealthy stuff, then it's difficult. We don't know what to say at that time. So I was just wondering what you do. So I know that you are a very healthy eater, and yeah, I know that as a child, with the kind of things that are going around us, with other children eating extremely unhealthy foods in their lunch boxes, or the kind of choices they make, or the sodas that they drink, or just they are being on digital devices all the time, there are many, many pressures that children have, and I'm sure you are also facing all of those. So I really have to commend you for the kind of healthy choices you are making, because I know it is difficult. I know as a child how difficult that can be. I have been there, and even for my children, I know how difficult it can be for them to make all of these healthy choices. So I really want to congratulate you for all of the choices that you make. And if you need any kind of guidance, any kind of swaps, we are always there for you. So do reach out to us for any of these. Thank you so much for the wonderful, wonderful questions.
Thank you.
Wasn't that a very different podcast? If you thought that it is easy to feed children healthy food in these times where junk food is available so easily, This is something that people can do by setting examples of what they do. So Swaraj is an amazing example of how to make healthy choices while still being surrounded by all kinds of junk foods. So if you like this video, do let us know in the comment section. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are definitely going to bring a lot more of such interesting content. Thank you so much and see you in the next one.